following is a special spotlight on the local arts scene from your partners in the arts, Ithaca's alternative WVBR.
The next production of Kitchen Theater Company's 34th season is The Brobot Adventure. Here to talk about the production are playwright and performer Darian Dauchan and director Andrew Scoville.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
Darian, if you were making an elevator pitch to Netflix about The Brobot Adventure, what would it be?
I would say The Brobot Adventure is about a hip-hop android who helps humans become better humans. And in this particular adventure, he abducts an audience of humans back to his home planet in order to eradicate the whackness that is slowly plaguing his planet. And through upliftment and enjoyment and dope music and collective dopeness, will they succeed? Question mark.
Andrew, although the Brobot Adventure takes place on another planet, does it have any connection to life on our own planet?
It certainly does. I mean, the planet that we visit in this show is called Planet Nubian. As Darian mentioned, it's home to a race of hip hop androids. There's a lot of connection in the lore that this show sort of comes out of because the humans and the androids for a time shared Earth together, didn't go well, so the androids left to start their own thing. So a lot of the Earth influence that they brought over is mostly as it relates to hip hop culture. Planet Nubian reveres the tenets of hip hop. You've got MCs who are the flow bots. The DJs are the scratch bots, breakdancing with the break bots and the graffitis for the spray bots. So that's all kind of in the world building. But the character that Darian plays is Flowbot Owens, who is a legendary Brobot MC. And I think one of the things that makes him legendary is that he kind of dips into all these different elements throughout the performance. And I think another thing that is definitely related is that the whack is back on Planet Nubian. And I think you could argue that the whack is back in some ways in our culture. And it's going to take us working together to fight back.
Darian, can you talk a little bit about the various artistic conventions, I guess, styles, techniques that you used in the Brobot Adventure?
We're combining science fiction and hip hop, which are two of my favorite loves that I got my science fiction from my dad. We used to go and watch science fiction movies when I was a little kid, and then hip hop from my sister. And so there's a combination of that. It's Afrofuturism, which I'm very much in line with, and it's also it's hip hop theater. And so that includes a lot of lyrics and beatboxing, and it's also immersive. A lot of audience participation. And so, yeah, I say when people come, it's like almost like you're experiencing a theatrical concert, if you will.
Andrew, what can audiences expect in this immersive experience when they come to see the Brobot Adventure?
There's a lot of ways that the team works together to create really spectacular moments. And all of the moments are sort of fueled by the audience helping Flowbot Owens generate dopeness. So it's through our participation and it's through our engagement with Flowbot's struggle that we are participating to help him eradicate this whackness. Darian is also a really skilled guide in terms of the audience participation. So though it can be scary for some people, he does a really good job taking care of the audience, sort of bringing them along in the specific ways he needs them to participate. So that's definitely one big aspect of the immersive quality. But the other one is that the environment and the design of the stage is something that sort of consumes and surrounds the audiences.
Yeah, I also think too, like just as an element, we talked about how like I'm really tapping into, I've taught poetry and stuff like that with young people for like over a decade. So it's definitely leaning into my role as like an educator, and I just got yoga certified, so I'm a yoga instructor. So I feel like all that instruction I think has been incredibly helpful for this piece.
You talked about the theatrical environment. Andrew, how have you been working with the designers to create this very imaginative world?
Well, I love Darian's writing because it has this kind of hyper theatrical imagination behind it, and it really does require all elements to work together. I like to call those moments all skate moments, where everybody's sort of collaborating to create one effect or one moment in the show. So our enemy, the whackness, for example, it takes a lot of different forms. So we have the set, the sound, the video, the lights, all collaborating together to sort of try to bring this idea into the space and make it all happen. We're really going for, we've talked about a lo-fi sci-fi aesthetic. So everyone's working towards things that seem very fun, very theatrical, and really sort of accessible to follow.
And I think too, like for me, like as a solo performer, it's like, yes, this is an Afrofuturism, sci-fi, hip hop solo piece, but in all of my work, it's been about being able to showcase what the designers are doing. So it's always a team effort, even though there's only one performer.
Yeah, they're like kind of your scene partners in a lot of ways, the different moments that the
For
designers
sure.
create.
This is a solo piece, but there's more than one character in the play. Is that right, Darian?
There is actually, yes. There's the whackness. We got to have our villain, right? But then we also have to have our guide. And that is the voice of Cleo, who is the mother of Planet Nubian that is guiding Flobot through his journey. And that is played by Adara Alston, a local from Ithaca. So we were excited to have Adara on board to be a part of this. I would just say that, when we talked about kind of developing this piece, for me, it's always been about the piece being fun, wacky, uplifting, and imaginative. Those are kind of like our four principles. And so, yeah, we just want people to come and have a good time with us.
And I also want to say in my collaborations with Darian that one thing also that audiences can expect is just an incredible and unforgettable performance from Darian, who is not only the actor and the writer in the show, but the music he creates and the way he utilizes the technology, the loop station that he works with is absolutely mind blowing. So that's definitely a highlight to come and see.
Yeah, that's a great point. You can just Google loop station and you'll see like, oh, it's because it's like its own form of like vocal DJing that I think a lot of people have not been exposed to, where I'm laying live vocals on the spot and using a lot of sound effects in order to create really kind of like almost like a sci-fi cinematic sound landscape.
It's unbelievable. Not a lot of people can use the technology the way that Darian does. It's truly a unique experience.
Emily, are there any special events surrounding the Brobot Adventures?
We always say important conversations happen in the kitchen. That happens in a lot of ways all the time. For the Brobot Adventure, we are actually going to screen the Brobot Johnson web series, at least a couple of episodes of Darian's web series version of this universe on Saturday, February 15th, after the 7 p.m. performance. After the Friday night performance, the second weekend, Darian will be with us for a Meet the Artist talkback, which is an exciting way to be in conversation with creator extraordinaire.
The Brobot Adventure at Kitchen Theater Company begins previews on Wednesday, February 12th and Thursday, February 13th, with Name Your Price tickets for previews available in person at the box office. The play opens Friday, February 14th. That's a perfect Valentine evening out. And it runs Wednesdays through Sundays until February 23rd. Evening curtain time is 7 o'clock. Matinee curtain is at 2 o'clock. Play runs about 85 minutes without intermission. Masks are optional but welcome in the theater. The Brobot Adventure is recommended for audiences age 12 and up. Tickets available at kitchentheater.org or by calling 607-272-0570. Darian and Andrew, thanks for joining us to talk about Kitchen Theater Company's production of The Brobot Adventure.
Thanks for having us. Peace, love, and dopeness. We'll see you there.